What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be taking a look at the Gundam figuration metal composite Deathscythe Hell, the EW version. So this is a special one. I actually didn't plan on getting this one originally, but it just looked so good that I had to. So we're not going to waste any time, so let's go. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take a look at the box here. So of course we've got some good Photoshop work here by Bandai. Let's take a look at the side. All right, let's take a look at the back. All right, and then let's take a look at the top. Looks pretty good. Same on the other side as well. And then let's take a look at the bottom. All right, so this is actually my first metal composite. I usually don't buy metal composites. I just tend to get metal builds. You may say that they're the same, but for me, I just kind of tend to lean towards metal builds. All right, so let's take a look here inside and see what we got here. Let's pull this out. All right, I'll put that to the side here. So first things first, we got the manual there. All right, so we'll take a look at that a little bit later. And then it looks like we've got the stand. We've got the scythe beam weapons there. Got some hands here on the left. Looks like this is the actual holder for the beam scythe there. And then you've got parts for your actual stand for your base. So got that. And then let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so let's take a look at this here. So what we've got here, it looks like we've got the figure there. So we got the figure there on the left. And then it looks like you have the bat wings here. I actually have not taken this out yet, so. All right, so it looks like you have the bat wings there. All right, and then everything is nicely packaged, so kudos to Bandai for that. Looks like you have looks like this is the shield. Yeah, so you got the shield parts there. All right, and then let's see what else we've got in here. The side there. Take the bat wings out here. All right. And then what else do we got here? Okay, looks like looks like these are the side skirts here. Yeah, those looks like side skirts to me. All right, and anything else important? The rest of this is like for the stand. And what's this? No, looks like more parts for the stand part. Alright, and alright, let's pull this guy out actually. Is there anything else I'm missing here? It doesn't look like it. Alright, so we'll figure out where all this stuff goes here in a little bit, and let's pull him out here. All right. Okay. Oh wow. So there he is there. Not too shabby. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, so what we'll do first is we'll get into the manual. So let's get into that. Okay, so let's take a look at this manual real quick. So what we've got there, same artwork or Photoshop work that was on the front of the box. All right, front and back. So of course, in typical Bandai fashion, you have your parts counts here. All the stuff that it comes with. Okay. And then We got this. Now this one is not in English. Actually, most of them are not. Most of them are in Japanese, of course, but they're pretty self-explanatory, so it's not usually hard to follow. So, all right. So I'm not seeing anything that's going to be too difficult to mess with, so I think we'll be okay there. Okay, so that's your manual right there. Let's take a look at the accessories. Okay, so these are all of his accessories here. Now he's got a lot of stuff here and a lot of things that this stuff can do. So first things first, let's take a look at the hands here. So of course he's got three sets of hands, technically four with the ones that he's got on his, he's got on right now, which are usually going to be the closed fist. But you've got these here. These are for the beam scythe. You've got another style here, and that's for the beam scythe as well. Okay, and then you've got semi-open hands. Okay, so none of these are articulated, they don't move or anything, but that's what you've got there. Okay, so that's what you've got for the hands. Now he's also got for the beam scythe, he's got three different sets, right? So he's got the curved set, which is really long, and then you've got the long straight ones, and then you've got the short straight ones here. So what you've got, and that's pretty long. So you've got those there. And the same for the long ones, the long straight ones. And the reason why he's got so many is because you can do quite a bit with all of these. So, and then you've got the short ones here. Okay. Now what you've got is the beam. You've got the beam scythe as far as the holders. Okay, so you've got three different ones here. So you've got this one. This is a dual blade. This one does not move. Okay, but what you would do, you've got a hole here and here, and then what you would do is put those beams in there. All right, and you've got that, but that is stationary, so that does not move. Okay, and then you've got this one. This is a single blade one, but this one actually does move. So that will move up and down. So you can use that one, okay? And then you've got these. This is another single blade, but these will actually detach just like that there. And you can actually put this on to this one, the second set here. So, and we'll go through that here shortly. And then what you've got here is you've got, these are kind of like your extenders for your beam scythe there. So pretty much all you would do is do with this, you take this, put this in here. All right, and then whoops, take that, put that in there. All right, boom, just like that. And then there you go. So that almost doubles in the length. And then for the effect parts, let's put these in here just so you can see what those look like. All right, so that goes in there. And then you can actually have it, you can actually use different ones if you want. I tend to use the short ones, but if you want to use a straight one, you can kind of do it like that. All right, or you can use two of the curved ones here. So it's kind of like a beam scissors, okay? And I don't remember what the official name is. It's been quite some time since I've watched Gundam Wing, especially Endless Waltz. So, but you got that there, okay? So that's what you've got for this one. So we can actually take this apart. And then actually for this one as well, if you don't want to put these back in the box, the extender parts, if you're someone who actually like to pose your stuff a lot, you can just kind of put this on the side here, and you can do that on both sides. And then that one will actually stay on there. If I can get that in there. There we go. All right, just like that. So you've got it like that. And then you've got one on this side as well. So you can kind of mess with that as far as how you want that to be done. But you kind of got it like that as well. So that's a little storage area that you got for that part. Okay, and then we'll actually take a look at this one. Now this one is interesting, right? So like I said, this one will actually move up and down. Okay, so you have range of motion here, But what you can do is you can actually pull this one off. So if you want to use this one instead of the stationary one for your dual blades, you can do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this and we're going to push this over this way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this curved one and we're going to put that in here just like that. Okay. Now the part about this attachment to this, I've noticed like when you start messing with this, this can get relatively loose. So you just want to be cognizant of that. But yeah, so anyway, you've got that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to pull this out. You are going to probably need nails for that. Okay. And pull that out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and push that and put it in that middle hole there. Okay. So it kind of goes like that. All right. So we've got this piece here. We'll take this other beam, the curved one, and then you can put this one in here like that. You do have to use a little bit of force to put them in, but you can do that, right? And then you actually do have range of motion there. So if you want to, you can kind of do it that way. You can kind of do it that way. You know, you can do it up to close like this. You can have that one down, that one up. Okay, so you've got pretty variety, a bunch of varieties of stuff that you can do with this. So that is actually pretty cool. I do like that a lot. That was actually what I liked about the Deathscythe the most, was the beam saber stuff there. See, and as you see, that one just fell out. So like I said, this is not, because there's nothing to lock that in. You just kind of, it's just like friction. So I kind of wish that there was something, or a button you could push or something that would kind of take that, you know, that lock that in place so that doesn't come out. But that is something that you do have to be cognizant of. So, but yeah, that looks pretty cool. So let's take this all apart here. And then we're going to show you some of his other armaments as well, because he's got quite a bit here. So take that, put that back in here. You take that, push that back in there. Okay. And push this back in here. Okay. So you've got that. So really good for his beam weaponry. All right. Now for these. Now these are all technically weapons. But these will actually double as his side skirts, and I'll actually show you how to do that later. But these are actually weapons as well. So what you're going to do is take this, you're going to split this open. Okay. Now the thing with this Deathscythe is that he has a lot of sharp edges. So I could see if you're too rough with this thing, that you could get parts that break, and you definitely don't want that for this, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to try to get it replaced, or you'll just have to buy a new one. So you've got that, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna just take a beam part and put it in there. And I'm gonna use the short ones for this, just so you can see them, okay? And then that goes in just like that. So that's pretty cool, right? And then those will actually go on his side skirts if you want, okay? So let's pull that out, push this back in there, and then we'll close this one up. All right, so you got those. Now, for these actually go on his arms, and I'm just gonna call them gauntlets. They're not, I don't know if they really are or not, but so what you've got is you take this and you raise this up. Now this is actually on a ball joint, so you don't want to be too rough with this, but it's on that ball joint there, okay? And what you'll do is take this, and I found it easier to just kind of push this up and then push this back on versus trying to raise it up like that, because I tend to, and I don't want to break it. So let's see if we can put that back on there. So, all right, so now that's on there like that. Now this is actually going to split almost exactly like the other ones, except for it doesn't go like out. It's not like on a hinge. This is just kind of like a little thing that you can pull in and out. It doesn't actually move other than that. So, but you would have that out. We'll take the small ones in here, push this in here just like that. Boom, just like that. So you've got that. And if I remember correctly, this was actually, if you remember the opening for Gundam Wing, for the original Deathscythe, he had this ability as well. So you can kind of shoot that at you. So he's got a lot of scissor mechanics. So you've got that there. Okay, let's put this back together and close these up. All right, so that's kind of like his gauntlet or whatever that he's got on his arm. Okay, and then we're gonna take a look at this. Now, this is his shield. It actually doubles because this is actually from the Wing Gundam or the Wing Zero. I've seen the bird mode for the Wing Zero. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of the bird mode, but it is something that he can do. But this one can also double as a weapon as well. So what we're gonna do is take this, split this open, push those parts out, okay? And that is on a hinge, so that will work, but you don't wanna use too much force because you may break that, all right? So I'm gonna make sure that those are in there nice and clean, okay? And then you'll take this other beam effect. What you're gonna do is take this, push this out, just like that. And then he's got a little slot there, and you push this in just like that, boom, just like that. So that's like a bigger version of the gauntlet one. So you've got that there. So you got a lot of interesting things that you can do with these accessories, okay? So I really do like that a lot. This one has a lot of gimmicks, a lot of accessories and stuff. So let's push this back together here, push this back in, okay. All right, so that's what I've got for accessories. Now we're actually gonna start putting some of this stuff on him, and we'll get into that. Okay, so before we actually put everything on him, what I wanna do is actually go through his articulation first, because I imagine with the bat wings and having all that stuff on him, his range of motion and stuff is probably gonna be limited. So I think it'll be better to show it in this form right now. So what we've got here, all right, let's take a look at the head first. Now, he can't now, first things first, actually what I want to say, all his joints are extremely tight. That's not a bad thing. That's just what it is. And I think that that's actually really good, but it's so tight that I'm actually a little terrified to like do anything stringent with him because I don't want it to break. But as far as 360, he can get almost 360. But the problem is he's got this back piece here. And you see this back piece here? So a lot of times once you get to where he's turning this way, like the chin is gonna hit this part here. Let me put that in focus. The chin is gonna hit this part here. So without this, he probably could do 360, but he can get pretty close. So I still think that that's really good range of motion. But unfortunately also, he's not gonna be able to look back all that much. All right, but he can look forward. Okay, so he's got a pretty good range of motion there. So there you go. That's not too bad, right? So actually he can look up pretty good. That's actually not too bad at all. So that's what he's got there. Now also what happens is once these kind of shoulder pieces go down, that's actually going to restrict his range of motion a lot. Because what I've found is that the V fin will end up hitting this a lot, or it'll hit the bat wings or whatever. And so even though he can still turn, you know, and that's not too bad, but eventually that's gonna hit something there just because those shoulder pieces are so far into his shoulder. Yeah, they're just so far into his shoulder. Unfortunately, sometimes that may limit his range of motion. But I think overall, I think that's still good. You can still move these, you know, these are actually movable. So that's pretty good there. And then what we're gonna do for his arms, now because of this shoulder piece, his arms are not gonna move up super high. Like you see how that's digging in right there? And especially with this paint job, I don't know if I don't wanna try to scratch that or anything. So unfortunately, you're not gonna get that high. Now you could pull this down and maybe that'll give him some more range of motion. Let's see. But see, that's gonna hit him in his head. So, so, you know, that's, you know, he's got okay in the shoulder, but that's just due to the design and like the big piece on the shoulder. As far as 360, he can raise this 360. So that's always good. He's also got a turn at the bicep, just like that. Okay, he's also got a turn at the tricep. So that's good as well. Let me put this over here. So this is actually looking right. Okay, and then for the wrist, or actually let's do the elbow bend here. So his elbow bend, I'm a little nervous about. All right, and if we turn this here, he can go up, but the thing is, this is so tight. This is so tight in here. I don't know if I want to try to do it any further than that. I think that maybe it's just the design itself and the fact that this turns that maybe he's not being able to get more than that. Because I've seen that they've had better range of motion on other figures, but I think it just is the design, you know, but that's not bad. That's not a horrible elbow bend, but that's about what he's gonna get. Okay, so you got that. And then for his wrist, all right, you've actually got some in and out. So of course that will go in and that will go out. He's got a little piece here that will actually flare out and then go up just like that and down. So he's got, I would say, basic range of motion. Not bad, but not great either. But you know, it's good enough, right? Now, also with his shoulder, if you look at some of those Brave reviews I had, you know how they can kind of pull their shoulder out? He can do the same. And if you pull this over, and you see how this piece here, this will come out of here. And so you can actually do a dual-handed pose that way. So with the beam scissors or beam scythe or whatever, you know, he can do that, and he can do that pretty easily. So that's how you do that. Good Smile, Bandai, all these other ones. That's how you create that. Because especially with figures that have weapons like swords and stuff like that, that tends to be a little bit harder to do. So, but yeah, that's how you do that there. So that's what he's got for arms. Now let's take a look at his midsection here. Now for his midsection, he can go in, but not a ton, okay? And he can go back. So you can lift this up. But I think what's going to happen here is just due to like this part here, because actually this is supposed to be connected in here. And so that's going to kind of give you some pushback. All right. So you've kind of got it like that. Okay. So he's got that. Now, as far as he's not going to be able to do 360 with this, that's just due to the design. He's got a whole lot of stuff he would have to try to get around. So even though he's got a small midsection, it doesn't want to do that. It doesn't want to really want to change all that much. So that's what you've got. And plus he's got a really big back skirt here. So unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get a ton out of the midsection, but you've got enough. You know, it's not horrible, but it's not super perfect either. So, you know, you've got that there. Now, for his legs, what you've got here is you can lift his side skirts, but unfortunately his side skirt's only going to lift that high, so that's going to actually limit his range of motion for his leg. Now, when I was messing with this before, you can actually take the side skirts out. It's on a ball joint on both sides, and so you can pull that out and he will get 90 degrees. But unfortunately, just due to the length of the side skirts there, you're probably not going to get higher than that. So I don't know what you would say. Maybe that's 45 degrees or so, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, so what you would do here is pull this out. I think I'll pull this out because actually when I did it by mistake. So that ball joint just goes right in there. So it's just on this here, but I probably wouldn't mess around with that too much, because if you break that piece, good luck, right? But of course, see, now he can get 90 degrees just like that, right? And then he does have a good knee bend. Now this will actually detach. You can actually reattach this. And that's just due, I think, to his bird mode. And we'll be going through that a little later. But yeah, with his bird mode, so he's got that. So this will actually come out, but you can actually remove this piece, I think, as well. So, but we'll do that a little bit later. But you know, he's got like that. So that's what it is for his knee bend. Now for the ankles, wow, that's so tight. For his ankles here, you know, he's got pretty good range of motion. He's just kind of limited just by the design because he's got a lot of sharp parts in here. So he's just got, you know, so he can move it all around. So it'll go up and down. And then for the feet, you know, this will actually move down. You can't actually take these pieces off, but they do move. So they do give a little bit there. But, you know, so the foot will come up and down. You're not going to get much out of it, but you're going to get some.
So, and I've actually seen this go all the way down. Maybe I'm just not pulling it down. There you go. Yeah, I just wasn't pulling it down far enough. Like I said, the joints on this guy is just so tight. I'm a little, I'm a little leery because I don't want to break anything. But yeah, so that's what you've got for that. Now let me put his actual side skirt back on. All right, and so that just snaps right back in there. So that's what you've got for his articulation. Now he actually has some actual cool stuff going on here as well. So he's actually got some pieces that will actually come apart. So he can actually have this out here and here, and then this actually flares out this way. So it's almost like having a, you know, where they take the armor pieces off, not totally, but you know, you've got a little something there. And I think that probably has to do with his bird mode as well. So, you know, you've got that stuff in there. Okay, so that's what we've got for articulation. Now we'll actually start putting all of his stuff on and we'll go from there. Okay, so now let's put all this stuff he's got on him. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because he's got quite a bit of options that he can do, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have him in his more like traditional or classic look. All right, so what you would do is just take this part and then put that in here. Make sure that the scissors piece is facing down, and then that just snaps in there just like that. Let's get the other one and do that. Then do the same thing here. All right, just like that. All right, and then this actually, this is pretty much it. Yeah, you gotta put his bat wings on. Now, when I was talking about these, how you can actually put these on the sides, what you can do, here, let me show you here, and I'm not gonna leave it like this, but just so you know, this part will actually slide down just like that there, and it exposes a little notch or a hole in there. And then what you can do, you've got a hole here, right in there, if I can get that to focus. You got a hole right in there. And then what you'll do is you'll just plug that in, and then that can actually go right there. So that's actually can be like part of his side skirt. And then this will actually move on its own too. So you can actually move that up. Now this is on a little track thing or a little ball joint in here on top of that. And you kind of just slide that in there. But you can actually move that, and then that will actually go in there. So let's see if I can get it to do it. There we go, without actually coming out. So you can kind of have it like that. So he's got it as that part as well. So that's pretty cool that you can do that. You have the options for that. So, and then what you can do, you can actually pull this piece out. That actually is on this piece here. And just pull that off. All right. And then you can just put this back in here. And that kind of goes back in there just like that. I can get that in there. Hold on here. Make sure I got this right here. All right, there we go. Yeah, and that just kind of snaps back in place there. So that's what you've got for that. But I'm not actually gonna do that part. All right, I'm just gonna kind of leave it in his normal traditional part. So we'll kind of have it like that. Now, when you get to the wings, he's actually got quite a bit going on here. So let's turn him around. Now, you've been seeing this metal piece here, and that's actually for the bat wings. Because I know it's like the Grim Reaper, but I'm just gonna call it the bat wings because that's what it looks like. But you got two. So what it is this part would go into this hole here. Okay, so there's actually two ways that you can connect it. You can connect it like this, to where literally you just take that and line that up. And then actually you would take this off of this piece, because actually this piece connects to the tailbone there. So you can actually raise that up a little bit, just like that, depending on if you want the bat wings close to them or if you want them far. So you can do it like this. All right. All right, boom, just like that. And then you can actually, that actually will attach to the back just like this. And then you've kind of got that look there. So that's the first one. Now, for the second mode, you can actually pull, if I can pull this out, all right? And then what you would do is you'd actually take these pieces, you push these up like this here, all right? And then you would do the same thing. So take it and push it in there just like that. And then actually what that'll do, these will actually hook onto this side here. So actually let's move that in a little bit closer. I think that will work. Let's push that in and then push that in like that. If I can see that. All right, there we go. Let's make sure that that's in there in place there. There we go, just like that, boom. And so as you see, he's actually got a little bit more room here if you don't want him as close to the body, but you can also do a couple of things with that. So that's what he looks like. So not too shabby, I must say. He actually looks really, really, really good. Now, he can also do the cloak with the bat wings. I'm gonna actually do the wings separately because he's got a lot of stuff going on with that. But I'll show you how to do that. So let's get into that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, now that we've got the wings and everything on him, we're gonna put him into his cloak mode. Now, this is very, very fragile. The bat wings are extremely fragile. It's got a lot of working mechanisms in there, and if you mess with it too much, I'm afraid that you may break it. So, but what we're gonna do, whoops, that doesn't help, right? Is I'm gonna show you kind of like the extended wingspan of this, of his bat wings here. So what you can do is you're gonna take this, push this out. All right, take that, and look how much further. Now that's all the way to the top on the left. Look how much further that is on the right. And trust me, you're gonna need this space. And that actually comes out as well. So it's kind of at an angle, but just so you can see it, look at this difference there. That is humongous. And for the cloak mode, what you're gonna need to do, because it's all based off of this hinge here and this piece here. This is the piece you have to look out for, right where my finger is. This piece here is extremely fragile, and if you don't pull that out all the way and clear this, this will break, especially if you try to use any kind of force with it. If you look at mine is kind of stressed. The reason why is because when I tried to do this, the first time, I ended up bending this. Now, it didn't break, and I can still clear it, but you have to be extremely careful with it, okay? So what you're gonna do first, let me collapse this back down because I just wanted to show you that real quick, because I'm gonna end up having to pull it back out anyway, okay? But that all comes back in together, and then this will come in together. So you really just gotta pull it, but you don't wanna pull too hard, right? You wanna make sure that everything is out properly, but you don't wanna pull too hard because then you'll run into an issue, okay? So what you've got here, you wanna go with, if we look at this side piece here, and you see how that's in, you're gonna go with, remember how I said there's two ways you could do that, where you can have these pieces out, you want those back in for this mode. And what you're gonna do is take this and kind of push this in so it's resting on his, let's see if I can get that in there. Boom, just like that, okay? So it's kind of resting in there like that, okay? And now what we're going to do, we're gonna extend this wing one more time. So, and you could actually do this without the figure on it. It would probably be a lot easier to do it that way, but I just wanna show you what we're gonna be doing here. So, but yeah, you see how all of this has to come out. But this part here, if you pull too hard, this part here will actually fall off. I've seen it fall off. It has not fallen off on mine, but if you wanna look at it from the back, let's take a look at it from the back. Look at that extension, especially compared to two sides. Look at that.
Look how much further out that is. So that is extremely really good engineering on Bandai. I just kind of wish it wasn't so fragile. Because I'm be honest with you, I'm just going to do this once for the camera and then that's it. I'm never putting it in this mode again. All right, so what you got, okay, is what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to clear the shoulder part. And as I was saying before, this shoulder part is pretty big. So you're going to have to clear the spot. So what we're going to need to do is you're going to have this part here. This part is on a hinge. And let's see if I can show you that. There's a hinge right there. Okay, let's see if I can get some light on there. There's a hinge right there. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to push this down. Okay, and that kind of will collapse like that. So you push that down so this piece shows right here. All right. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take this part and you're going to actually push this down just like that. So that will come up and down. So you want to leave that down as well. Okay. So now that we've got that, now we're going to have to try to get this over his shoulders. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this all the way out. All right. And then you see this black part here. Okay. You have to clear this part and it has to be out enough that you can clear this. So you're going to take this and see how I fold that over and then that goes flat and you see that that's where the black part is. Okay, so this has to be completely flat. Okay, and then you take this, move this over, and then you move this down. Okay, and so that kind of is the first part of his cloak, and we can do that with the other side as well. Now, I didn't have as much problem with this side as I did that side. All right, but I'll take that, pull this out here, make sure that everything is out all the way. We're gonna push this out, all right, and see that clearing spot there. You have to make sure that that is clear. So that is extremely important because if you break this, I don't see you getting another one. But all right, so I'm gonna take that, bring that over, push that down. All right, and then actually you can push this together. Sometimes this one doesn't want to do that, but you can kind of push that in there. There's actually a slot in there. There we go. And it kind of goes in there like that. And then you can kind of push these down. All right, so you can kind of see his face a little bit better. And boom, there you go. So that is the cloak mode. Like I said before, this is extremely fragile. If you don't clear the area that I showed you, that will break, and then I don't know what it's gonna do with that. I was able to kind of move mine just with my finger because I stressed it just a tad on the right side. And what I did is I just took it and I kind of recentered it back into place, and it did go into place, and it was at a point, even though it's still a little bent, I can still clear that area. All right, so that's what you've got. So this is what you've got for his cloak mode. Now I'm actually gonna do his bird mode. I don't particularly like the bird mode, but I will show it to you so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, with the bat wings and stuff, you're gonna have to be extremely careful with that. All right, so now we'll get into that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put him in his bird mode, or I guess it's the Reaper mode is what it said on the box, I think. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of get him ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up here. And then what we're going to do is take him and we're going to slide these down. This part will slide down just like this. And you're going to see why I'm doing that in a minute here. So they'll slide down, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the side skirts and you're going to move those down as well. Okay, just like that, all right? And now what you're going to do is take this and you're actually going to, this is actually on a hinge, and don't be scared to do this. You don't want to use a ton of force, but that's on a hinge here, just right there. And so what that does, that actually moves to the back, just like that, okay? And so we're going to do that, and we're going to do that with the other side as well. And most of his joints are still really tight. So, but he should be able to, we should be able to do this. So kind of move those to the back as far as you can. Okay, and most of this is going to be covered up by the wing anyway. Okay, so you kind of got that. Now for his legs, what we're going to do is we're going to have to pull this out here, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this up just like that, just kind of like the wing Gundam or whatnot. Oh, there we go. It's kind of going to just be like that. Now there is this doesn't really lock into place, this part here. So, but my knee seems to be a little bit floppy, so this doesn't like to stay together all that much. But we'll kind of work on that as we go through it, and I'll come back to that and see. But it should actually just go just like that, and then up, and then you want it to look just like that. Okay, and then for the foot, you're just gonna take this, and you're gonna move the foot all the way down, so it goes like that. Okay, and then this is actually gonna move up just like that. So that's kind of like one side there, and then we're gonna do the same with the other side as well. So we're gonna move this up, and then we're gonna take this. Now just be careful because he does have a lot of sharp parts, so you don't want to overdo it. But let's see if I can do this here. All right, I'm gonna move that in. All right. And kind of get it like that there. Move this in and out. And then actually probably want to make sure that his legs are straight. That would probably help. All right, just kind of like that. And then we'll do the same thing with his foot here. I'll move that all the way down. There we go. Just like that. All right. And that's pretty much how we want him as far as his legs go. Okay. And then what we're going to do is take his arms, move his arms in all the way, just like that. All right. Have his shoulders up just like that. And then he's pretty much ready to go. So I found this to be actually the easiest way to do this. So like his knee, like mine is kind of floppy. This is actually supposed to lock in here, but it doesn't really want to do it. But it's supposed to just actually stay like that. That actually does not connect. So, but you just kind of want it to not. So these two need to stick together for that. Okay. So that's what we've got. So that's pretty much how he's going to be. Let's move these back over a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to put him to the side. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take this part here. So this part is his shield, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take this part here in the back, and you're going to move this down, okay? And then you're going to take this, move that like this, and then we're going to spin it. This is on an actual hinge right here, okay? You're going to spin it just like that, and then it kind of goes up into place. So it goes like this. And it's pretty much going to be looking just like that. And then what you're going to do here is, let's bring the Deathscythe back in here. And then what you're going to do is going to have this piece here. And that's going to actually connect onto this slot in the back here. Okay. So this kind of goes in just like that. Make sure I can get that in there. All right. And then that kind of locks into place there. So anyway, so what it is this hook here is going to actually connect. If you look, there is a little slot there. Now that's supposed to connect here. If for whatever reason it doesn't work for you, I probably wouldn't push your luck with this,
But, if you do want it to connect, you can. But a lot of times, to be honest, if you just wanted to have it kind of set just like that, ain't nobody really going to be able to tell the difference, especially once it's on a stand and stuff, But just for completionist sake, this is supposed to go into that slot. So, boom, and it goes just like that. There you have it. So his face is covered. So he's now in kind of like his Grim Reaper mode. So he's got this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the bat wings. For the bat wings, it's kind of back to its original shape, just like that. And then all you're going to do is just take the red parts here and then move those in. Okay. So you just got it like that. And then what you're going to do, you're going to have it back in this state. So both of these parts are down. And really all it is that this part here is going to connect to that part there. So pretty much you just kind of take it and then connect that in there. All right, boom. And so now what you're going to do, all right, is you're going to take his calf and we're going to raise this up here. So these are kind of be like his thrusters. Okay. And then the back of his ankle armor there. This actually does come up as well. Just like that. And then this raises in like this. And that is his Grim Reaper mode. So that's what you can do. You can also put these parts on the other parts that he has as well. If you want to have him like firing it and stuff, but you have to actually get the stand out to do that. I'm not going to get that out. I just want to kind of show you guys what it actually looks like when it's all together. So, not my favorite form, and I'll probably never have him like this. But, it is something that he can do. And of course, more options, the better, I say. So that's what you've got. So now we will go into final thoughts. So last thoughts on this guy. Kudos to Bandai on this one. I actually may be so bold as to say this might be the best Gundam Deathscythe Hell that I've seen, especially the EW version. It's better than the master grade. I love the fact that they changed the color from of his actual color in the movie was gray and black, but they actually made it a purple color, which more is along the motif of the Grim Reaper, and it's amazing. I mean, it looks awesome. I think there's not much that this thing can't do. It has a lot of accessories and assortments and things of that nature. You can do quite a bit with it. I don't necessarily like the bird mode all that much. I think that's kind of over the top. Besides, that was kind of more exclusively for the Wing Gundam or the Wing Zero or whatever. I know that they kind of add new things here and there as they do new, different designs and stuff. For the wingsuits, there's just so many different variations. But I think overall, this is amazing. I mean, the only drawback that I would say is that, especially on the wings, as I showed in the video, this is probably the most delicate metal build or metal composite that I've ever had to handle. I had to really deal with it with kid gloves because I didn't want to break anything. It has a lot of sharp edges, and there are a lot of things on this figure that if you don't know what you're doing, or you try to put too much pressure, things can break. And good luck trying to hunt down another one, because especially in America, I know that a lot of people who watch my videos aren't necessarily in America. They're actually kind of abroad in Japan and Hong Kong and Taiwan and stuff like that. But in America, Gundam Wing kind of is the top gun, especially for people who were raised in the late 90s. That was like the first major show that we had that it seemed like it was universally praised. and that kind of started off the Gundam craze in the United States. I've been told that it actually wasn't the actual first show, but this was the first popular show. We'll just put it that way. But you know, if you are a Gundam Wing fan, I mean, I can't see a Gundam Wing fan not picking this up. It is masterfully crafted, and it just looks amazing. You are going to need a really nice or a wide shelf, because the bat wings are pretty long, especially with that beam scissors, or you know, the sickle or whatever that you want to call it. I forget what its name is, but you know, especially with that, you know, this is pretty wide. So you know, you're gonna have to need a lot of space. I think it'll go perfect with the Wing Zero. That, you know, would be a pretty good display for this. So overall, out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this one probably like a 9.5. The only thing that I have as far as a problem is it's just really, really delicate. There are such a lot of mechanisms that are that you have to move around, and if you're not careful, you will break it. So I have to kind of take a little bit of points away from that. But outside of that, it's almost perfect. I mean, it looks amazing. Minus the bird mode, of course. But anyways, well, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.